talking about bass, I'm talking about chips, talking about rings, you ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in, 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 tune in. This week in car audio. Yeah. Tune in. This week in car audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by Jeffrey Fernandez. How's it going, Jeffrey?
Good. How about yourself, Doug?
Oh, going great. What'd you do this last weekend?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, I went and checked out a festival that they had out here.
Okay.
Yeah, a buddy of mine invited me out, and it was pretty cool. It had live bands. It had some old school bands. It had Lit. Lit was on stage. Hoobastank was there, and Soul Asylum. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I saw your live feed.
Oh, okay.
Don't
I was so hoping that I was gonna get copyrighted, so I would do maybe strictly 3 or 4 second videos, so I wouldn't get copyrighted.
Hold on a second. Let me finish. I'm trying to share this to a bunch of groups real quick. Hey, Doug, sorry, paste. All right, now I'm going to start sharing this. Yeah, if you go less than 30 seconds, they don't copyright you. So if you continually...
Is it really?
Yeah, so if you can mute after 30 seconds, then it's not a problem.
I think I'll do that.
Yeah, or you just talk over it. As long as you don't have more than 30 consecutive seconds of music or whatever, it doesn't flag the what's it called? Copyright.
Oh, that's cool.
So there you go. Now you know, right?
Now I'm gonna have a timer on me. Okay, 29 seconds. All right, I'm cutting it.
Yep. No, I went and helped run a bowling tournament and went and bowled another tournament, and some days I'm not as good as others, is all I'll say.
Oh, man.
What event do you have coming up this weekend?
I have just right over my right shoulder here.
Uh-huh.
This Saturday, November 12th, kicking off at 12 noon. Got a triple point event at Crossfire.
Is it DB Drag? Is it U.S.A.C? What is it?
It's actually both.
Both.
Yeah, so it's going to be a multi-organization event. We're going to have DB Drag Racing as well as U.S.A.C.
Okay.
Anita Salas is coming up from South Texas to go do the event. So it's going to be 12 p.m. start time this Saturday. Check out dbdragracing.com for all the full details. Also, don't forget to check out, it's a Facebook event. Just do a search for Crossfire Car Audio.
Okay. And so what else do we got coming up here? What's the other organizations there? There we go. I haven't seen anybody on that one. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure everything was working. Everything seems to be working. There's coming up pretty soon. We have the Mecca and IASCA World Finals.
Yeah, it's coming up on this weekend.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, our guest this week, we got Mr. Collins, Mr. not Phil Collins, his better-known younger brother, Joshua Collins. Uncle.
Uncle.
He's your nephew, or you're his nephew. We got Josh Collins coming in here from Pun Customs, one of the sponsors, along with Lots of Watts, Crossfire Car Audio, Pun's Customs, obviously, and what's his name?
Right?
Stolman, yeah. Stolman Transport, LLC. I couldn't remember his last name. It's just Justin. I've known the guy for a long time, so, Anyway, so our guest this week we got here is Josh with Pun's Customs. Why don't you introduce yourself and your compadre sitting next to you, sir?
Yeah, my name is Josh, but everybody knows me as Pun. I am a owner installer of Pun's Customs in Albion, Michigan. Kind of a late comer to shop ownership. Opened in 2019 after long stint in the audio industry. But I've got with me installer fabricator Cameron Bowen. He's a California native. I'll let him kind of give you a little
Hey.
snippet on him.
Okay.
Yeah, like you said, I'm a California boy. I've known you for a while now, Doug. Been out of the DB drag scene. Worked my way all the way around Cali. Somehow ended up in Michigan. It's where my wife is from. So here we are. Happened to find Josh, and we're out here making these things. So good time.
We got Tommy the King McKinney popping in.
Oh, awesome.
Saying what's up. Glad to see he's here. All right, so we got a California guy, a Michigan guy. So what's the scene up in Michigan? You know, we obviously, Jeffrey and I are DB drag judges. Jeffrey's also a USAC, and that's it, Jeffrey? Or USAC and IASCA?
More so Andy's the USAC side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I did like one mecha show a while back.
Okay. So that's what Jeffrey's involved with. But so what you got coming up this weekend? I heard you were heading down to Lebanon.
Yes, Mecca and IASCA World Finals is this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and so really looking forward to that. I built a Scion XB up as a demo vehicle and started
The one that's in the pictures. That
yeah,
okay.
Yep. Started hitting the lanes with it this year. I competed in the really early 2000s, nothing serious, you know, just as a little fresh installer for Best Buy with a couple of 12s in my trunk, thinking I was cool, and so I pulled up, met Brad Van Valkenburg, who was the main mecha judge for Michigan this year, and he kind of lit a fire under me, and I became a retail sponsor with them and started networking with Bud and Shannon Ballinger, who's the new mecha owners, and hit every single Michigan show this year. Took one in Kentucky, a couple in Ohio and Indiana, and the Scion, even though it's just it was built as a demo vehicle. It did really, really well in the lanes, and I'm the points leader in Park and Pound, or maybe it's M3. Yeah, I think M3, and not far behind in Park and Pound. And there's a couple louder guys out there. You know, I've got Wayne Heckman, Kyle Metchke, Mike Smiley.
Oh, yeah, they've been on the show.
Moses Martinez. He's right there with me in DB3.
Ray. What about Ray Maestas?
Ray, I don't know if he's in my class.
Okay. If he is, you're in a world of hurt.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there's
Carlos, right? Carlos Rodriguez, another one. I don't know. I'm sure he's extreme of some kind.
Yeah, he's in higher class, but he's extremely loud. So it's going to be a great weekend. Super excited for it, and I just hope to see I hope to see a top 5 in the world finish.
Okay. That'd be awesome. That's what you're going for. So DB Drag has this issue where people won't make the trip to World Finals because they know they're not going to win. I mean, Jeffrey, got to admit, right? There's people that just absolutely won't even go to finals because they're not going to be either first or second. That's an issue that we do have with DB Drag. But I think the people really miss out on the event when they don't do that. I mean, this year World Finals was freaking awesome. Jeffrey's having a little FOMO. He had some work he had to do locally, and so he didn't make it to the what's that? The Las Vegas
Showdown.
The Showdown, yeah, the SEMA Showdown or whatever they called it this year, right?
Yeah.
So, did you guys happen to see any of the stuff back from there? Any of the results?
From what?
From the SEMA Showdown or whatever, Las Vegas Showdown?
Haven't seen any of the results of it yet. Nope. I've been following a little bit of the SEMA through some of the guys that are down there. I've never been to a SEMA show. I've wanted to go for years. This just happens to be like the SEMA show was the weekend before finals, and I just couldn't make it. Couldn't make it happen.
Yeah.
It looks awesome though. I'm going next year. Period.
No matter what, right?
Yeah, nothing's gonna stop me from going to that next year.
Yeah, I will tell you right now, if you want to just go to, like I said, you said you're new to the show, so you haven't heard all my heard all my stories about Radio Shack and stuff like that. So, SQ Sounds out of Bridgetown, Barbados said they watched it online and it was hype, is what he said.
Oh, okay.
Jeffrey's pretty good. He shows up to that show almost every year, so he had a little FOMO going on.
Yeah, I missed out last year too, and I was like, man, I got to make it this year, and then it didn't work out. But
it just didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
Yeah, I have a show here on the West Coast called Autorama, and at Autorama, they gate over 30,000 people, and they put the car stereo guys for demo, all that stuff, literally at the front entrance. So
Wow.
all 30,000 of those people have to walk right by us as competitors to do that. And we do it as a 5X weekend. We do a 2X on Saturday and a 3X on Sunday.
That's awesome.
So anyway, so I mean, that's like said. So if you guys are going to come to California, did you happen to come to when you were here in California? Did you happen to go to a Autorama show?
Yeah, I've been.
You've been to Autorama? Oh, I lost you there.
Yeah.
I've got you still.
I know I can hear you fine, but I can't hear him.
Oh,
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, yeah, you've been to Autorama, and what was your thoughts on it?
It's huge. Yeah. No, it's definitely up there with the bigger shows for sure. And
Yep.
like you said, it's right there on display. So
Yeah, so I mean that's all really cool. Mario Perella says, "I thought you were going, Jeffrey." Jeffrey did too, but
Oh man.
work's work. And it is what it is. So I see behind you on the glowing behind you in that XB there, it says Sundown Audio. You want to speak to what you have in your vehicle and kind of and describe to us what class you compete in, like not just the name of the class, but how the class works?
Yeah. Again, we built it. Originally, I had a no wall in here. I was a massive audio dealer. I had 4 massive hippos and a couple D6Ks, and a beautiful no wall enclosure that a guy that named Caddison Keeler with Keeler Customs built a gorgeous enclosure in there. It wasn't enough. I needed to go bigger, so we walled it.
We've never heard that story before, have we, Jeff?
Right. Yeah.
No.
Just wallet. So I originally had Def-Bont's 3015Rs in a flat wall, powered by a pair of Salt 6Ks strapped at 1 ohm. It did well. It really smashed the lows, and again, I built for demos. I started hitting the lanes and noticed that I was doing really well in Michigan, taking first or second at every show that I went to. But as I started expanding a little bit, I knew that I needed to get a little bit louder to stay competitive. So I brought on Sundown in 2020, and I ended up taking out the Def-Bont's 3015Rs and swap those direct swap for 4 stock Sundown U15s. And seen an immediate 1.8 dB gain on the term lab. Nothing more than a sub swap. Same box.
Same amps.
Yep, same amps.
Same impedance.
Same impedance.
There you go. That's good.
Efficiency. Those 3015Rs are they're a monster sub. I just didn't have the power to run them. I sold them to buddy Trey, who's got each one, I think, on like a Teraamps MD8K, and he's absolutely just smashing with those subs. So I just didn't have enough power for him. But I've competed in a bunch of different orgs this year, but mainly, again, Mecca is big up here in Michigan. So my main 2 events are M3, which is going to be your headrest score, burp. And I'm doing, I am in a 6K clamped cap class, so just shy of 156 dB. It's doing 155.99.
Okay.
At the headrest. I couldn't get that extra 1/100th out. And then I also compete in DB3, which is going to be 30-second music average, 6 foot outside of the vehicle.
So that's like drive-by or whatever.
I think it used to be called
Park
it
and
used to be
pound.
called drive-by, but it's Park and Pound.
Park and Pound, yeah, and
Yeah.
doing mid 130s, 134.26 is my PB in that.
So
Um,
so that particular organization uses down to the hundredth of a dB then.
yeah, on the website it displays down to 100.
Okay. Yeah, in DB drag we don't do down to the hundredth. We only do it for base race and top dog. Well, no, only base race is the only one we do go down to the hundredth of a dB.
Is base race, is that the 30-second music average inside?
Yep.
That's the yes. Calvin just put on that drive-bys are illegal, Doug. So
Not in Cali, right?
well, I mean,
Yeah, not
it
in
is what
Cali.
it is, right? It just means you need to get a bigger gun. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, guns are illegal in California, so yeah. But that stops everybody from doing drive-bys, right? Just because they're illegal makes
Sure.
everybody stop doing it.
Yeah, ask everybody in Chicago.
That's right,
Oh
Chicago.
yeah, come
Yep.
on. That's
Detroit, all those
Mhm.
areas, yeah.
All
Um,
sorts.
anyway, that's cool. So one thing I did want to touch on this tonight was being a shop. We don't typically get a lot of shop owners on here, but when we do, we talk. And as a shop, uh, you told us previously that anything is illegal in California per Calvin.
serious.
He ain't wrong. Um,
That's why I'm in Texas.
that's right.
Right.
Anyway, as a shop, did you? I mean, me being in the industry for as long as I have, I understand the idea that if it's not a well-known brand, you have to sell the brand to your customers. Was that an issue with Bonds or Sundown your main? Because I like I say I see the Sundown in the back. Is that your main brand you carry? Do you carry DC? Do you carry Incriminator? These are all people that we've had on the show. So
Yep. I've made Sundown kind of my house brand now.
okay,
I was with Massive Audio. I was with Scar. I brought on Audio Legion, RIP, to those guys. And that was a brand. Audio Legion and Wolfram, both are brands that I brought in, built up around my area,
hmm
spent my advertising dollars on it and got the name out there, and they both sold really well. And they're both Wolfram. I don't really know the status of them anymore. I guess after Colin left, but
Mhm.
they're both kind of gone. So at that point, I knew that I needed a few things out of a brand that I was going to make a house brand. Number one, a well-known name in the industry, something that I did not have to go out of my way to advertise and push like I did with the other lesser-known brands. Somebody that's going to stand behind their product, behind their dealers, and make sure that they have very policed pricing, I guess.
okay. So they're not selling it to your neighbor, or you're not going to be able to go online and find it for half the at dealer cost, right?
Right.
Or,
You've
or
got some
direct.
brand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or direct.
exactly. And you've got some brands out there, Audio Pipe and oh gosh, what's it? Hyphonics. You as a dealer, when I look at some of the pricing on that, you can actually get on Amazon and buy that stuff cheaper than I can as a dealer half the time, which is it's wild.
Rockford
So
Fosgate's had that issue before,
Hmm.
but
yeah,
people don't understand though. Typically, when you're buying stuff that's at a cheaper cost, it's usually B stock items, and people don't know that, and they don't
yeah,
realize what they're actually getting. And and then in the retail industry, we call it a tail light warranty. As soon as they turn on their tail lights, the warranty's over when they bring their
Hmm.
equipment in to have you install. You know,
right.
so that's one of the other issues when they don't buy from a brick and mortar right there. Right?
And I get it. There's a lot of convenience to buying on Amazon or one of the larger car audio online outfits. And everybody shops online. I'm guilty of it. I probably order more from Amazon than anybody that I know.
Not me.
But
I got a wife.
right,
No.
there's still a benefit to a lot of guys told me I was crazy for opening up a car audio shop. I wanted to do things differently. I was a 14-year veteran of Best Buy, and I seen their kind of the ins and outs of how it worked. They started calling us the Amazon showroom because people would come in, they'd play with the stuff
Yeah.
on the board, and they'd
Mm-hmm.
go to Amazon and order it at a cheaper price. So after seeing that, after working for a local custom shop for some years, I wanted to open up and be able to sell brands that I could match or beat Amazon pricing on, and a brand that would stand behind their product. So you go and you order an amplifier or a subwoofer from Amazon, and you have a question on how to hook it up. I'd like to see what Amazon, you send them a tech support question. I'd like to see the answer to
Right.
what your question is. I'm here to offer support after the sale, offer professional installation on it, offer the best price, offer the brands that people want. On top of Sundown, I've got the S18, Audio Dynamics for some of the SQ guys. Still got some Audio Legion stuff hanging around. Kicker, there certain brands will sell themselves, and you've got the old school guys that are definitely going to want your Kicker, Rockford Fosgate, JL Audio, something like that. And so yeah, Amazon pricing is not always the best, and I'm here to prove that. A brick and mortar store is still beneficial, and some of the stores have kind of put a bad name in people's heads for overcharging or not offering that level of customer service that I do, and that's here to change that reputation.
There you go. Yeah, Calvin's on fire tonight. He says he gets his cheaper on Wish.com.
No.
Oh God,
It's horrible.
that's
Well,
So
funny.
yeah, so he's on fire tonight. So
Yeah, he posted some videos of his Wish ride, so maybe that's where he got his stuff at.
so
Literally.
so when
Right.
so you're a custom shop, right? So
Correct.
do you do like deck and twos? Like Bobby Gately, he's been on here. I don't know if you're familiar with Bobby or not, but I mean
Oh
he
yeah.
obviously is a full custom, and he will do a deck and two, but that's not his thing, right? Um, is that like kind of some little extra money on the side type deck and two thing for you, or do you just try to kind of push those off because that's not really the customer you're looking after?
No, actually, the deck and two, the deck and four, remote car starters. That's what
Hmm.
keeps me in business. That's what keeps
Okay.
my lights
Mm.
on. That is, you're not going to make $1 million doing that stuff. It's lower margin stuff, but that's okay. That's what keeps customers coming through the door. I will
Yep.
absolutely take your deck and fours all day long. The custom stuff, I've realized that my margins are not nearly as good on, and that's because I probably undercharge for it. But um, yeah, I will take on anything that walks through the door that wants to have it done correctly. I fix a lot of other shops' mistakes.
I don't know if you've seen any of the ones we did with Jay's Alarms, but if you ever follow Jay's Alarm, um, he does that on his Facebook page all the time. He goes, "I don't know what shop installed this. This is what it looks like," and then he'll come back to it and say, "This is what it looks like now." I mean, that's one
The
of Jay's Alarm's big deals, right?
one on my Puns Customs Facebook page, I will not call a shop out ever. I'm not gonna
Mm.
throw anybody under the bus, but I will show before and after pictures, and especially on some of the remote car starters, because that stuff's kind of hidden, and
Oh
people
yeah,
have no idea. Like the spaghetti that you find under the dash of cars sometimes is unbelievable.
yeah. So and that's mainly Jay's Alarms. He is an alarm expert. He
Right.
installs decks, a deck and two or a deck and four that he does. He does it at zero margin. I mean, he does it literally
Mm.
almost free, and because that's not what he does. He just offers that as a part of the service. He wants to sell you an alarm, and when he sells you an alarm, he's gonna back that alarm, and you can call him up. I mean, shoot, a whole bunch of times I called Jay. My alarm's doing this. All right, push the 1-2 button at the same time. Now stand on your head and kick the tire. Oh, that fixed it. Yeah, of course it did. He comes up with some crazy ass stuff, but the guy knows alarms. He's been doing it a very long time.
Right.
Tristan out of Bridgetown, Barbados says, with Amazon, you don't get to speak to the car audio experts, which is a true statement.
100%.
Yep. And so back in the day at Jay's Alarms, that's where I started in the as far as a judge. We actually used to do a thing. We did an installers challenge one time where we got a couple of high schools involved, and we had the 2 high schools come to a show. They brought their own cars. They brought their own wood. We supplied them with a amp install kit and some woofers, and we didn't tell them what it was. And they had to build the system at the show. And at the end of the show, we had a competition to see who was louder, based on the rules we set forth. And basically, we just took one of the DB drag classes and pulled it, street stock 1K. Bam, there you go. That's the class they're going to build for, and as long as they fit within those rules, they built the car and they competed. So that's kind of the things that we've done for like community outreach and stuff like that to get people to understand that having somebody there where you can ask questions and they understand what was installed in your car is so much more. It has a value so much higher than if you just buy it online. And that's
Absolutely.
what we try to teach people.
There's a very specific way that kind of a method to our madness that we do everything. Even if Cameron or I did a remote car starter, which is really big up here in Michigan, winter months are coming.
Oh yeah.
There's a way that we prep and the way that we install that if you were to get under that dash, you're going to know exactly where those components or those wires are, and you wouldn't be able to tell which one of us did that job.
Okay. That's cool. John Benet, not Ramsey, apparently. It might be Bennett. He said, if you're a competitor in Michigan, you need a guy like Pun in your corner, always available and does whatever he can to help you meet your goals. Rusty Flowers, owner of DC, that was his big thing when he was a store owner, right? He was more than just some guy who sold you some stereo stuff. And for people that haven't bought from a reputable stereo shop, the difference is night and day. I mean, I'm not discounting those box stores because they do have their place, but the difference in level of install and after sale quality, care after sale is different when you go to, say, a Pun's Customs versus like a Circuit City or something. Circuit City, once they've made the sale, you're done. The transaction's complete. You're on your way. Somebody like Pun's Customs or any other brick and mortar shop, they want you to come back in, talk about your system, because, I mean, let's be honest, this is a business, and they're going to talk you into upgrading your system, because there is not a single base head I've ever met that said, yeah, I'm satisfied with what I got. I'm good.
Day one of install, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Day 2, nope. I need something more.
Yep.
Just like you, right? You started with a no walls. Next thing you know, I got to build a wall, more subs, more amps, more batteries.
Now I can't hear my highs. Now I need more highs. Oh, now I can't hear my subs. Play the teeter-totter game till everything's walled and steel caged.
That's right. Is there something you guys specialize in, box design? And if you do box design, what kind of boxes, or is it making everything pretty? Is that really your specialty, or stuff that goes to SEMA or CES, or how do you go with that?
I'm the technical guy, so I'm real big into integration, which obviously everything is getting more and more involved on the OEM side. I'm a DSP guy, and
Okay.
integrating into the new cars. Cameron here is my fabricator. I mean, I have no, yeah, sure, I can throw a nice box together. This guy will walk all over me on it. So I'll let him, kind of.
Um, I kind of specialize in everything. I've been doing this for a while now, so I've kind of worked my way through a little bit of everything. I can do, the finish work and, the vinyl wrapping and all that with the press fits and make it look pretty if that's what they want. I can make it light up like a Christmas tree with all sorts of programmable LEDs if that's what they want, or I can gloss clear coat and stack fab. And it's so I've kind of gone through all aspects of it. I can do the fiberglass all the way to the steel cage. So it's, if you can dream it, we can build it. I've kind of done from, a single small box all the way up to your full extreme build, anywhere in between. So
Very cool.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck, he's out of he was in Manteca where I live now, and he just recently
Reno.
moved out to Reno area. He's not in Reno. He's quite a ways from Reno, but
Uh,
he's in the Reno area.
yeah,
Uh,
that's my
that
boy.
that's like Jeffrey saying when he lived out in California, he lived in L.A. Didn't quite live in L.A.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
anyway, he says that's an awesome story, Joshua. He likes the sundown build. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
um,
Thank you. Thank you.
so with the climate as it is, with the inflation and money becoming less valuable here, and people running into problems. I mean, if you just look, if you were to buy a house 8 months ago to now, your payment would have went up 30%, right? So if you're paying $1,000 for your house, now you're paying 1,300 for that same exact house. So with that being an issue, disposable dollars are going to get more difficult to come by. How's your shop doing with the changes?
It so overall revenues are down from 2020, 2021. Those were boomer years. I mean, there were a lot of shop owners that seen record years, and
During
through
the
COVID.
pandemic? Yeah.
Yeah, through COVID, it was just insane.
Hmm.
So if anybody started right then, it was kind of false hope on how the industry was going to progress from there if you expected that.
Right.
And we prepared the best that we could for it. Manufacturers obviously have been forced to raise prices, which I tried to eat for as long as I could, and even when I've had price increases, they've been fairly minimal. Disposable income is going to be, consumer spending's down, but we are going into the holiday season. That is a
Hmm.
big time for gifting, obviously, and we're just hitting winter, so remote car start, audio
Remote
dies.
starts are the best thing ever to happen to a northern area
Northern,
stereo
exactly.
shop.
Yes. Yeah, audio dies quite a bit in the winter up here. I mean, not dies, but it
Yes.
slows down quite a bit, and remote car starters fill in for that so nicely. So yeah, product shortages. So we kind of got out of COVID. Stuff started getting better. I mean, radios in 2021. Holy shit! I mean,
Almost non-existent
it was
sometimes.
impossible to get,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they've gotten a lot better. Sony has been amazing with keeping everything flowing very, very smoothly. I brought on Boss Elite, and I'll tell you what, I'm not mad about the decision. I've had very little I've had very little product failure. From what I understand, it's actually made by Clarion Canada. It's not your Walmart boss. So they've kept a really, really consistent stockpile of units available, and so that's kind of saved my butt for the lower budget customers.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm starting to see, everybody's affected by it. Sony, Sundown. I haven't really seen DS18 too much as far as shortages yet, but it's starting to yeah. It's starting to get tighter and tighter every week when I go and do my orders. There's so much out of stock. I think we're looking at a replay of middle of last year. It's getting tight again.
Yeah. And for people that don't know, stereo shops, they essentially give away the decks at almost cost. no markup at all in a deck. So when you go into a stereo shop and it says 395 for a deck, you got to think. I mean, this shop's got to pay for insurance. They got to pay for their employees, the lights, the building, all that. And on a deck, there might be $30 on that, or maybe even 50 on a super high end deck. So there's like no profit in those decks.
You gotta sell a lot of radios to make rent.
Yeah. Just I mean, I like I say, I don't know the breadth of our audience. I know there are some stereo shop guys that watch this and whatnot, and just so you know, there's almost no markup. That's why when you go on eBay or on Amazon and you look at a cost of a deck, you're saving like $40, and you're getting it at the same price as that shop's getting it for. So it's not like
Yeah.
they're making money on those. They make their money on their labor, and that's why when you have a good product that is labor, and you can sell your labor as a quality product, that's when a shop can be more successful. Would you agree with that?
That's how you differentiate yourself from the crowd. After sales support and quality installation, I back every car that I touch, the installation side, with a lifetime labor guarantee. Anything happens to my installation that causes failure of the product, or I mean, anything from a blown fuse to a quote unquote loose wire, because everybody's calls if something happens, oh, maybe it's a loose wire, which we know like that really never happens. But um,
And then you take it off and you notice that your plugs were cut and respliced together with snow
Oh
caps.
no.
right, yeah. So yeah, it it is labor that keeps us afloat. I even last year when radios got hard to get, I was buying them from Crutchfield and Amazon just so I could
Mm.
offer a radio to a customer. I was giving the radio to them for what I had into it. I wasn't marking them up. If it retailed at $2.99, I was buying for $2.99 and selling for $2.99. And even my labor rates compared to some other states. I mean, I'm in a town of 6,000 people,
Wow.
which is like who opens a stereo shop in that small of a town? It's my name.
Mm.
I've been around the industry for a long, long time. Everybody knows me here in town, and that kind of expands to an area maybe 50 miles on any side of me. So I pull in from neighboring towns, and yeah, I'm not here to make the money on the product. I'm here to offer an awesome customer service experience, offer that support, and it's kind of a character flaw. I mean, customers will text me at 1 a.m. and I'll answer the damn phone. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm here. I'm here for my customers.
If you ever get a chance, talk to Andrew McCain. Very similar story. The guy
Andrew
is
McCain.
Andrew McCain. We've had him on the show. He's a good
Mhm.
friend of mine, competitor. What did he say? He had 33 national championships or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Yeah. But he owns a shop in New Mexico, really small town. Actually, the way I met him is he flew me out there to put on a 3X DB drag in his town for him.
Oh wow.
So that was our original time we actually met. So no, he's a really cool guy. Here from SQ Sounds, that's Tristan out in Barbados. He says, and the better part of car audio shops, they can offer warranty that not eBay. So
Bingo. Bingo.
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, he owns his own shop out there in Bridgetown, Barbados. So once again, really tiny community, and they when you go to a shop like his or yours, um, they're buying you, not your shop, right? They're buying a different. That's like when they go to a DB drag that Jeffrey runs or I run. They're coming to see me and what I'm doing, what Jeffrey's doing, not because it's DB Drag. DB Drag may have been the initial draw, just like Car Stereo. Hey, that's a Car Stereo shop. But the reason they come back time after time and they want to get better or buy more is because of the people they're involved with.
Mhm.
You find
The
that?
experience too.
Yeah. I mean,
eBay can't set your crossovers, and can't show you how to tune everything and make it sound right. You can put all the equipment in there in the world, but if you don't know how to set it up properly, it's all just gonna sound bland. And
Yep.
that's where it comes to guys like us been doing this for half our lives to make it sound proper.
It's the expert advice, I guess, too. Like some shops will sell, they're in business just to move boxes. If somebody walked through my door and wanted, say, a Teraamps 5K amp because they're so affordable now. Everybody thinks, oh, I can run 5,000 watts in my car. If they can't demonstrate to me that they're gonna have proper electrical to run it,
Electrical.
I will not even sell them that amplifier. I don't want their money because I know it's going to end up in a customer disappoint. They're going to return the amp. It's going to be warranted, and instantly,
damage something.
exactly, could damage their vehicle. And I don't want, everybody kind of turns to, oh, well, this amp is trash. Well, no. Let's be honest. I mean,
Power's power,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, 90% of product failure is customer driven. So yeah, if I will physically not sell somebody an amp if they can't support it with the proper current and voltage potential.
So with that being said, do you guys sell lithium out of your shop, your own that you guys make, or do you sell a prepackaged lithium setup, or what do you guys do for lithium?
I am an excess power dealer, and I'm with Limitless. I just switched the Scion over literally like 2 days ago. Cameron was helping on the back end here. We took 3 Cyber 12Ks out and put EH5 in. I've got a good buddy, Mitchell Stockel, who built me a beautiful EH5 bank, and so we're going that route. I am still not to the comfort level that I need to be at to do DIY banks in customers' cars unless I know that they are a competitor, they know exactly how to care and manage those batteries, especially when you're getting into battery delete type stuff. I'm not going to do that for a run-of-the-mill customer. It's going to be either AGM or a friendly limitless battery that can work in conjunction with the underhood battery.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, it's great. You're gonna find that you're gonna love lithium. Once you learn how to balance it properly and manage it, it there's nothing that's helped the car audio market more than lithium. I think in the last couple of years, it's insane.
We use a lot of it. I just don't, if it's coming from me, it's going to be a branded and manufactured battery so that it has a warranty on it. I don't want to be responsible for it. Yeah, I'm not going to throw C-Max that I built in somebody's car.
Might be in yours, but
right. Yeah, I'll throw it in mine. But I don't know if you can see, I have a fire extinguisher back there too.
That's right. Is it the correct one for lithium?
It's I don't know. It's the ABC.
So Tristan again here pipes in with, we tell people this every day. Customers using equipment the wrong way or in the wrong application can give equipment a really bad name. And, like I said, so they're in a small area, and it says, yeah, and that's why we don't sell our products to everyone. And they're in a small area where, just like you, if they get a bad name, it takes forever to build a reputation. Takes one bad thing to end a reputation. So, so smaller businesses, mine, Jeffrey's, yours, we go that extra mile to make sure that our product is, for us, Jeffrey and myself, it's us. We are our product. For you, it's you guys and your equipment. But, we have to go that extra mile to prove to people that we're worth spending that money on. And even if we do get a bad review or get a bad unhappy customer, it's so far and few between that we got so many people that back us and enjoy the product we deliver to them that hopefully we can overcome that. And most times you can when you got a solid base. I mean, just look at like little ones like DC Audio and Incriminator. Go and try and badmouth one of those guys online. dude, you're gonna get smashed by
Yeah.
every one of their customers that just absolutely love them, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys got something very similar. Like if somebody were to jump on your Facebook or something and write a negative review, you would have 100 positives to counteract that one.
Yeah, and I've yet to have a bad Google review. It is 100% 5-star right now. There's no
Oh,
paid
awesome.
reviews or anything. I know it's coming because people they say what is it? They say that somebody's 8 times more likely to write a bad review
Yeah.
than a good one. Not that they didn't have a good experience, but they just take that as face value. Like, yeah, I had a great experience. That's how it should be. Where
Hmm.
if somebody has a bad experience, they want to tell everybody. And so I know it's coming at some point, and it may be something that's completely out of my control. But it is what it is. I'll take the win for now, and probably sulk in my Cheerios when I get that bad one.
Yeah, well, I mean, you think about it, right? So you do your remote starts, right? Um, you know how easy it is to get a bad ECM. I mean, they're shipped overseas. They're in a container. They go across the sea. They bounce around in the container maybe a little bit. They get shipped in a truck. They show up to you guys. I mean, ECMs are not 100%. Just like not the interconnects, the RCA cables. People
Oh,
swear,
yeah.
"Oh, I got a brand new RCA cable. It can't be that." No, RCA cables out of the box are bad all the time, and I can't express. My competitors like, "Oh no, I just brand new RCA cables." Yeah, but did you test them before you installed them? And I take them off and I show them, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know they can go bad out of the package." They can. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
it's a connection. Every time you have a connection, offers you an opportunity for failure. So, that's like people put the studs on the outside of their speaker boxes, and then tie, bolt on their wires to that. Well, that can come loose. I mean, especially the pressures that people are building in their vehicles nowadays. I mean, 150 was a phenomenal score 15 years ago.
Right.
Now, that's the beginning of when you start to get loud, right? So, with that kind of thing. So, I mean, things are getting louder. To get louder, they shake more things. Um, you know, at last World Finals, what we had like 3 cars that the decks were skipping because
Yeah.
they were installed correctly, but shoot, they're hitting 168s. Well, what's that? Where are those bolts supposed to go? Where's that dash supposed to go when you're flexing that much?
Hmm.
So, that like I said, that's just all stuff that happens. That's an issue with what we do. We're base heads. We destroy our cars. When you're done with that XB, it's not like you're gonna go sell it at your local used car lot, right?
No. No. It could never be taken back to stock. I actually bought it as an auction car for $1,600 to literally destroy it. So
Right.
yeah.
A couple of years ago, well, a couple now, 18 years ago, I bought a 56 Pontiac um, to turn into an SBL vehicle. And so I took the back seats out and I decided, hey, I'm going to do a little research on this car. Well, fully restored, that car was worth like $94,000. I was
Oh.
like, yeah, I'm not going to destroy this. So I actually sold it to a friend of mine who was actually a Pontiac restorer. I sold to him really cheap. I got it for $1,500. I sold it to him for like $2,200. Of course, I made a little money, right? Um, but I took that money and I bought me a '58 Pontiac that fully restored was worth about $2,000. So because I keep that in mind too, right? I bought the car to destroy it, and I knew once I started on the vehicle, there was no recovering it, right?
Well,
Welding a cage inside of it and all that stuff,
we had a customer that brought in a 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and beautiful. It was a beautiful ride. Leather seats. It was really nice, and he wanted to get loud, so he right now he has 3 Sundown X15s in it. Subs up, port back, no wall, and he split his roof
Oh yeah.
inches.
Wow.
Oh, just
Rip the roof.
He sent me a video of water dripping on his subs, and he's like, "How is this happening?" And I'm like, "Dude, you ripped your roof." No. He comes in and right where the satellite antenna is in the rear of that vehicle, it completely split. And I mean, it was raining on his woofers. Nice new vehicle, newer vehicle. But yeah.
So Jose just popped in the chat. We only got 10 minutes left, and Jose just popped in. And I don't know if it's his dad or if it's his birthday. I think it's seniors, but they are
cool.
the DB Drag Cyclone No Wall and Wall world champion or world record holders. So, and I know they did Mecca, so I don't know what class they did in Mecca, but I'm sure they were, if they weren't world record holders in that, they were pretty damn close. They're loud, and they make an awesome vehicle. They own a little shop in Oakland, not quite as small as a town as you're in. I mean, it's like 2 million, but kind of a little bigger.
Just Oakland, California.
Yeah, just Oakland, California. But no, Jose's a good dude. Anyway, so it's him or his dad's birthday. I think it's seniors. Good family. They come to shows. They do a great job. Jeffrey, we're only got a few minutes left here. You want to hit him with the question?
Sure. So it's a question we asked all of our guests. Basically, we'd like to know what your definition of a bass head is.
Definition of a bass head: guy or gal who wants to feel the music in their soul, become one with the artist and the production, like the artist intended their music to be felt. You think that?
Come on, Cameron, you got something.
I just like to float stuff, man. So
Yeah.
so someone that likes to break stuff with bass, someone that just enjoys. I mean, that rush that we all get. The family, the camaraderie, the behind the scenes stress and everything that goes into this. I mean, none of this just happens overnight. I mean, I got a year into my ride, and it's not even done. I mean, there's guys that'll spend years and years on this. It's in your heart, it's something you do because you love it. That's hard to explain to people that don't understand this. I'm gonna spend 10 grand to blow my car apart. Where in the normal world does that make sense? But between us and the people that are listening, they get that, and that's what makes this fun. That's what makes us bass heads. I think
it's therapeutic.
I mean, I started when I was 15 years old, and I mean, I'm gonna do this till I die. I'm gonna be 70 floating stuff.
Yeah. We've had quite a few people. I think Josh T.W.I.C.A out of Reno, I think he was one of the first guys that, he called it bass therapy, right?
Yeah.
So that's his form of therapy. He'll go up in the hills and just beat on himself, with the bass. That's a form of therapy for him, and many of the people out here, that definitely is a form of therapy. It was for Lucky when he was my co-host on this and stuff. So definitely appreciate that. So where are people going to see you at, Cameron and Josh? Where are we going to see you next? How do people get a hold of you guys? What do we got?
Gonna be in Tennessee this weekend at Mecca and T.W.I.C.A final.
Come right up to him, say hi, introduce yourself, say I saw you on T.W.I.C.A. Let me check out your ride.
I will have a retail booth set up down there this weekend.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have some of the necessities in case guys are blowing fuses or need some lugs or some wire. And then here back at the shop, Facebook Puns Customs, PUNS Customs spelled normal. That's how you get a hold of us. We're working on some really cool projects right now. We have a Suburban that's getting 3 Salt 8Ks full wood stack fab door panels that I won't go into too much detail. Those are coming along really nicely. He's the mastermind behind it, and they're gonna be jaw dropping when they're done.
A little inspiration by Gately, huh?
Yep.
I didn't grow up in the same town as Gately and not pick up any of his style. I've been watching the man for 20 years now. So
phenomenal fabricator.
I draw so much inspiration from Bobby. I've known Bobby for half my life now. I definitely draw a lot of inspiration from him. His crew, so for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll see us expand. I don't know. I don't know that I'll ever get into internet sales, but I've got guys shipping me Harleys and cars from Michigan, Indiana, Ohio. I had a bike from Pennsylvania this year. Yeah, I've only, again, 2019 till now.
Yeah.
It's growing, and I hope that it continues.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, Jeffrey, what you got? Let's talk about your show behind you real quick. Is it
Oh,
gonna be?
okay.
Are we going with the 1X2 or like we discussed, or is it just gonna be
That's
the
actually
3X?
going to be for later in the month.
Okay.
What I talked a little bit about this show earlier today, but I kind of wanted to go over that show that you're talking about at the
Okay.
end of the month. It's going to be down in Houston, Texas, just south of us here in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a part of Audio Olympics. Paul is throwing it down there. It's going to be multiple organization there as well. It's going to be DB drag racing as well as Audio Carnage. You guys can check it out on Facebook. Look at all the Audio Olympics event pages that are up. Should be a fun show. It's going to be 2 days. It's Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be, I believe, the 26th and the 27th. Check it out. Yeah, it should be a fun time.
And that'll be a 4X weekend. So
I'm trying to. I'm going to talk to Paul about it. Initially, we were just going to do a triple point event with probably qualifying on Saturday and then bracketing on Sunday. But I think we want to. I just from what I gather, whenever I talk to him, he wants to do it up big. He said if it was up to him, he'd do a 10x.
and Mal and Brobox, I'm sure they're totally down with doing as many.
Oh
X's
yeah,
as
they're down to do it as well. But so we're kind of limited. So I told him, hey, we could do a 3x. So I kind of want to kick over the idea and see what he thinks about doing a separate Saturday show. So we'll see how that goes. Sure, he's gonna be all up for it, and yeah, it'll be a fun time. Check it out on dbdragracing.com.
And the tentative date I got right now for the Mellows Toys for Tots event, which is super popular, right? We're looking on that possibly December 11th is current date. I need to get a hold of them just to confirm. But that's definitely the date we're looking for, September 11. There's going to be a Toys for Tots, I believe, on
December?
Yes, December 11th.
Oh,
That's
December.
not what I said?
Okay. I thought you said September.
Oh, if I did,
sounded like you said September.
No, December 11th. And I know December 17th, I think, is they're having a multi-org down in Fresno, Toys for Tots.
Oh, cool.
So, we don't ever want to go on top of each other, especially for a Toys for Tots thing. It's, it's all about the kids. It ain't about us.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, when you do go to one of those events, there is no money to exchange hands. The only thing that can exchange hands is toys. Last 3 years, I think we've taken 2 trailer loads to the kids after the show. We have a raffle that lasts an hour and a half because we have so much stuff to raffle off. That money goes out to the kids also. So we did really cool. We will have them on before the Toys for Tots again, obviously. Also, next week, I'm kind of excited for this guest. Looking forward to trying to get him on here. But we're going to have Jimbo on here from Canada.
Oh, cool.
We're going to have the Canadian A. So we're going to pull...
That?
Huh?
What about that, eh?
Yeah, what about that? Oh, you hear those boots all the time up where you're at.
Out there in Michigan.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get the Canadians on, and
Cool.
we're gonna have that's Ray Choi's son. In case you guys don't know it, we've had Ray on here a few times. But yeah, he was on our World Finals one. He stepped in for quick 5 minutes or chat or something like that. But the guy's he's, I don't know, 22, 23 years old, and he's been doing DB drag at least for the last like 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
So, multi-time world champion. So we're going to have him on next week on Monday night.
Cool.
He's already confirmed and agreed to it. So that's cool. Other than that, that's all I got. Once again, thank you, Josh, Cameron, Jeffrey. Great job, guys. Hope you guys had enjoyed yourself out here today. We're going to get this going. We'll get it off onto the platforms. Please like and share this on all platforms, on Facebook and YouTube. I'm thinking about adding this to Twitch, or what's the other one? Twitter or something, whatever other ones I can. I don't know. But I can start streaming on those if you guys want me to start streaming on those. It's literally a click of the button after I get it set up. So if you guys want to do that, want me to do that, let me know and I'll get that going. But anyway, if you guys get the opportunity, support those who support us and the things you like to do. We have Puns Customs out of Michigan. We have lots of Watts, beating up the block lifestyle apparel. We have Crossfire Car Audio and Stolman Transport LLC. I do know Stolman Transport and Lots of Watts are doing a 10 or a 15% discount if you say T.W.I.C.A or podcast. Then they're giving a discount on their lifestyle apparel. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. We will see you guys next week at 5:30 p.m. California time, the only time that does matter for this week in car audio. We're out of here. Peace.